The Wild Brain chapter for Ninjago has been around since 2019, making it almost 3 years old. In that time, we've had around 4 seasons and a special, which is actually quite a lot in that time frame. With the way the current Ninjago story is headed, it's got a lot of people wondering and talking about when it's time for Ninjago to fully switch things up again, which is what we are going to be analysing in today's video. Much like the Will film era of Ninjago, or just the first era, I guess you could say, it's the current Ninjago story is literally climbing up and up. Seabound left us with a lot of questions, and I mean, before that we had Season 13, which was a fantastic story. At this point in time, it feels like the story is just going up and up, and I think there will be a big climax very, very soon, either next year or the year after that. So this is actually comparable to what Will film had happened to it. The story was just going up and up each single time, and then eventually we hit that Oni trilogy era, which was like really the peak of it all, and then it ended off there and started afresh with a new chapter, I guess you could say, from Ninjago. But let's just quickly establish what we mean by a new chapter. So by that, I'm talking new animation, a new runtime maybe for the episodes, stuff like that. Basically what we saw happen with the Wild Brain era of Ninjago. We got new animation from Wild Brain Studios, a new 11-minute runtime, and there were just, in general, a few changes like that. So, would this actually be a good thing? That is the question. Personally, I think yes, it is needed, to be honest. Now, yes, I know that something like this, again, would get quite a lot of backlash from the community, which could be seen as a bad thing, but I think that in reality it is kind of needed at some point at least, just to kind of keep things fresh and to keep people engaged with the story, because imagine they just kept on going with the Will film stuff for Ninjago and they just constantly kept pumping that out over and over again. I think in reality it would actually end up getting quite boring and people would be pandering on for this change. So to be honest, I think something like this is gonna need to happen again, either maybe starting in 2023 or maybe even the year after that, to kind of bring in some new things to enjoy and bring in some big changes, because that is needed every few years or so, just to kind of keep people engaged and to keep it all fresh and new and exciting, I guess you could say. Now, we do actually have a bit of evidence for this, at least, because I remember there was a Tommy Andreasen tweet that was basically stating that, yeah, they are going to change things every so often, you know, just for the reasons I've stated, to kind of keep people engaged. So it is definitely possible, and to be honest, I think it would be great if they just reverted back to the 22-minute episode format. I think that would be amazing, actually. Obviously, I'm not asking for the old Ninjago to come back. I don't really see the logic in that personally, but I think something like that would make the community a lot more happier, and it would just be great if they brought back a few old kind of details that they had in old Ninjago, just to kind of keep people even more happy and more engaged. I think that could actually be a really, really successful plan. So, when do I think that something like this and this big idea of a new chapter for Ninjago will actually start? So, as I mentioned earlier, to be honest, I think I could see it happening in the next few years or so, once Wild Brain finally reaches that big Oni trilogy level of peak, which I think it is actually going to happen fairly soon. I think next year is going to be a pretty major year for Ninjago, just considering the amount of news and information we currently have. So maybe next year and the year after that, it will bring on something new. But that is just my theory there, and I think around at least that kind of time, we could be seeing some big changes happen once it's finally reached that big peak and conclusion. I think it would make sense for them to bring in some big changes like they did with Wild Brain in 2019. I think it would actually be awesome. With this being said though, what do you guys think about this? Yes? Is it good? No? Is it bad? Let me know in the comments. I'd be more than interested to hear your thoughts regarding all of this. If you did enjoy today's video, please do consider dropping a like on it. Additionally, if you're new to the channel and are interested in seeing a lot of content similar to this, then please also consider subscribing to the channel with the notification bell turned on. With all of this being said though guys, I will see you all in my next one.